What is shaking out there, everybody? JT here with you. Back in the studio, Studio 10-4, live again, coming to you from up in the Pacific Northwest, just a little bit outside of Grants Pass, where I will be landing soon. 5 o'clock in the afternoon on August the 14th, 2024. Man, this freaking year is flying by. I'm telling you, it is flying by. Got a great show lined up for him. I'm looking over here at our Facebook page, and there's some new things that are going on, unless I've just completely missed them till now. As far as indicators like we're live, it shows a ring around our profile icon and a live badge. That's kind of cool. That's new. I've never seen that before. That doesn't mean it hasn't been there, but I don't think it has. So new stuff arriving all the time, social media landscape and platform changing all the time. Tonight's show, by the way, is brought to you by PANELITE. Y'all remember PANELITE? Of course you do. Been around about 40 years. I'm back. I don't know what happened there, man. Are you guys can you hear me, Dustin? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that was bizarre. I've never had that in I don't know how many years we've been doing this and had uh just a complete drop. Man, everything just dumped. Huh. Interesting. So anybody that's watching right now, if you guys give me a comment or something, we know Dustin just came back in. He's in the green room, so we'll be getting to that here in a minute. Mike, what's going on? Dan in the studio. Kendall, what's going on, sweetheart? Good to have you on the show. And of course, Dougie and my burrito buddy, Friday. Looking forward to it, man. I might have to go and get a burrito on Friday just to be in on the burrito Friday thing. Anyways, I mentioned PANELITE, and all of a sudden, wham, we went dead. It's like it's forbidden word or something. But anyway, PANELITE's been around a long, long time. Back in the day when I ran, I featured a lot of PANELITE product on my truck because them and a couple of others were kind of the primary manufacturers of aftermarket accessories of stainless steel for your trucks back in those days. I mean, the only thing I enjoyed having anything associated with me and Millennial was the Millennial lights and Millennial line of products that they had back in those days. Well, they're back anyway. So to say the least here and get to it, they are back, and they've got a lot of great products to offer. So check them out, panelite.com. On today's show, and this is kind of interesting, it just sort of timed out that way, is Dustin Dickerson, Dickerson Custom Trucks. And Dustin, his family, his business have been partners of 10-4 for quite some time in Studio 10-4 Live, and we appreciate them being a part of things. And we've got Dustin waiting in the wings here to bring him out, and we're going to get caught up on everything that he's up to, and Dickerson Custom Trucks, what they're up to, and God, just there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Dickerson Custom Trucks and what they do, what they're doing, where they're going, and all of that. And also, we'll have a little bit of discussion. Dustin can give us kind of a hands-on of Mike Horan's services earlier this week, and his last ride that he took to his final resting place. So look forward to hearing all of that and talking with Dustin. I don't know where to start, man. I'll tell you. Let me go to this first. Everybody, we all are either on Instagram or Facebook or both, or TikTok, X. I mean, some of us are, players in all the channels, right? Some more than others. Reels and stories. Reels pretty much kicking everybody's ass on everything. There are so many mainstream, mainline advertisers, businesses, influencers that have just gone strictly to that model. They don't even post anything anymore. They just post reels, and all these different side hustles are coming in, and now we're at a point where everybody's trying to figure out how to get your attention for the reels that you used to just kind of click into and just go next, 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 watch, next after next after next. Anyway, and YouTube, by the way, too, is in on this. Don't let me forget them. They have quite the setup as well. So all of these are showing signs of pretty much copying each other. What I wonder is a lot of there's a lot of entrepreneurs in our industry. If you're an owner operator, you're an entrepreneur. If you are driving for somebody and you've got everything but your authority, I still consider you an entrepreneur. You're still doing for yourself. You're just running under somebody else's authority. But I wonder how many of us are doing side hustles now, and or have been, and what are they? I'm just curious, because in my world, and as I stated, I think around a month ago or so, I'm no longer at Rogue Truck Body. Let's just get that out there. So I'm back into full-time digital marketing, doing what I do, and back to what I was doing before I left California. Gary, I was going to call you today, buddy. You and I need to get caught up, and I want to get you on the show, man. It's been too long since we've chatted, and I want you and a couple other of the old band back together, so we can have a fun show. And let's talk about doing that and getting that done here soon. This whole deal, though, of the side hustle and whatever it is that people are doing, this is back to being my main hustle. 10-4 Magazine, Studio 10-4 Live, running digital media for other businesses, products, services. It's a whole new landscape. I mean, just from when I left 2 years ago and came up here, worked at Rogue, did what I did, sales manager supposedly there, and did what I did. But it's just amazing how much has occurred and changes that have taken place. Do you guys see any of that? And what are your side hustles? Again, I'm going to keep asking that. What are your side hustles? I'd love for people to, share that with me. John, good to have you on the show. Always a pleasure, John Feuerborn. And by the way, Gary, good congrats on your mom. I think I read she got engaged, and I miss her on the show. I'd love to have her back on the show. And I don't know if I said hi to Shannon, but Shannon's on and with us today, as she is usually always. Anybody else I miss on there? No, not yet. So also tried something new today as far as putting out the promos. With the app that we use, I only notified 2 channels, and that is our Facebook page and YouTube. So hopefully we're going to see everybody, because in the last few weeks, been spreading it out across different pages, and the way we do it on the back end, I'm not going to go into it, but just it's not impressing me that it's the right way to go. So I tried something new, and it looks a lot better today, by the way. So glad to see so many here, and sure do miss a lot of guys. Jamie Williams, where the heck are you, man? Miss Jamie. I called him today too. All right. So anyways, if you guys don't want to share in public what your side hustle is, which I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't, because if it's a side hustle and you're trying to make some money on it, get it out there. And this is a great platform for you to do that. Ray, what's up, Ray? I haven't seen Ray. Oh, hi, Susie. Nice. Susie Rodriguez, Ray, down in Salinas, California. Glad to have you on the show. Missing you guys too. I haven't seen y'all in so long. I hope we're going to see you in Modesto, well, the Stanislaus County Fairgrounds, really, but for the Souza Memorial coming up at the end of September. Looking forward to that and that taking place. Anyway, let us know what that is. What is your side hustle? I'd love to hear about it. I wish I had one of those Fox News, big red alert news flash deals, but this just in fact, I need to reset my screen here because it just dumped everything when it did what it did. But let me get back to it. So, who are my NASCAR fans out there that are either part of regularly watching and or just every now and then? Of course, Dan, I know. So Dan, spoiler alert, if you haven't gone back in to watch, because Dan always records, he's always a come back later, watch it guy. That being said, definite spoiler alert. After this weekend on Sunday night, and I watched this race in real time, at least the last 25, 35 laps, something like that. Man, am I glad I tuned in. what a freaking Dan's I'm Dan, just la plug your ears, buddy. What a freaking show. Unbelievable what happened. Dan and Shan, if you're watching, let Dan know when I'm done, and then we'll bring in Dustin. But this just in, Austin Dillon still gets the win, but not the points. See, he's out. He's out of the Cup Series playoffs because of it. So he won the race, got in, but he got penalized so heavily. They took 25 points from him and 25 points from Childress from the team, and they suspended their spotter. Okay, Dan, I will do that. I'll let Dan know when we get a thumbs up. Joey Logano fined $50,000 for his little temper tantrum that he threw in the pit box of Austin Dillon when he came in to pit row, and he just lit him up there in the pit box, and they fined him $50,000. Dillon got severely penalized. That's pretty harsh. And Denny Hamlin pretty much unscathed. I haven't seen anything or heard any mention of Denny Hamlin getting anything going on or happening to him. So if you guys haven't seen that race or what happened at the end, go to NASCAR's Facebook page or their website. There's a complete explanation breakdown given by NASCAR, by the NASCAR rep, and what happened and why. There's some other good videos in there too. Kyle Petty, he basically broke it down and said, what a freaking great race Austin Dillon drove until the end of the last, 3 laps or whatever, which ended up being the ones that everybody went crazy. He also stated that, if you're a fan from 25 years ago to now, everything that went on is cool. If you're a fan from 25 years ago and before, it's not cool. That's his breakdown. Me, I look at it because Logano and Hamlin have both been in same or similar situations, done the same, and now they're the ones that are saying they got screwed. Well, listen, what happened is what happened. Very aggressive, very, very aggressive end to what happened. And honestly, you know what? Austin Dillon's like, well, I either win this race or we're out. We're done. Season's over. End of the story. Done. He won the race. NASCAR took away the advantage of winning the race by penalizing him. And I don't know how much money, if they penalized him money. I think they just kind of took everything else away, and that's it. So, Dan, come on back, buddy, and you can tune in. So let's get over to our guest today, and that is Dustin Dickerson of Dickerson Custom Trucks. Dustin, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing? Doing well.
Good, man. Good. You're loud and clear. Look good. Everything's good on your end. So good. Can you hear me okay now?
I got you good. Yeah. I'm up here in the kids' playroom now. I was trying to do it out on the back porch, but that wasn't going to work out too well.
Well, it's all we do is we try as much as we can, whatever we're at. I've had like Gary, I've had him in the on the show, and he's done it from the cab of his truck and all lit up and
I did the one we were on the road down in headed to Tucson there before the Louisville build off deal with the four of us. I think I ended up on a picnic table because I couldn't. I was too dark in the chair in the car.
I think you're right. I remember that now. Now that you mentioned that, I do remember that. And we've kind of waited a long time to get you back in here. I wanted to have you back in to get, the kind of after show debrief of how it went for you, what you thought, and I'm glad we got the chance and the opportunity to do that today.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the invite. Always enjoy coming on with you, John.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I do. And I want to say, let's look at some stuff here. I'm going to bring it up. And if you do a search on the 10-4 magazine website, you're going to find, let me bring this up a little different there. There we go. Just, anybody out there, go to 10-4magazine.com and go to the little magnifying glass right here and type in Dustin Dickerson or Dickerson Custom Truck. It'll bring up all of this stuff that you see right here in front of us. Now, it's like your DNA is just, it's inserted into the 10-4 DNA pool, and you're everywhere in here. And we're going back to this one right here, especially 2013 on the cover of 10-4 magazine. And just a phenomenal build, in 2013, man, there wasn't much out there quite like this yet. And here you are doing it. So,
I still get people, it floors me, how much people pay attention to what you're doing and how much they remember. And, people come to me and obviously I'm like, immersed in trucks every day, all day. So, I know a lot of different trucks and things like that, but there are people out there that just remember so much, it was one of their, obviously I'm honored when they say that, Built to Be Noticed was one of their favorite trucks when we did that. And they still know all the details. I've had people come up to me and it's their screensaver on their phone. At shows, it's just so cool. But that's where it all started, right there. We were trying to put ourselves out there and show what we could do, and I don't know, I guess it worked, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe just a bit. Well, let's talk about this one for just one more minute.
Yeah.
So when Kendall and I were doing GBATs last time, almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
2023, it was 23 actually, a year ago.
Yep.
Guess what we found in line, and it happened to be one that I looked at it and I went, let's go talk to this guy. Lo and behold.
Yep, I heard about it. She called me and she's like, Dad, your trailer's here. And I said, no kidding, because I'd been trying to keep track of all that stuff. My truck, I know where it's at. I knew where the trailer was, and then it got sold. And I think maybe sold 3 times now, 2 for sure. I think 3 times now. And it's been put to work, and which is fine. When we built it, there wasn't anything about it that was unusable. The truck either,
no.
Just wasn't what I ended up doing with it after the fact there. But it's kind of neat to see some stuff that we build, and especially some of the early on things that you kind of forget about, and all of a sudden here they are back around. Obviously I hadn't forgotten about the trailer, but they kind of disappear for a while, and all of a sudden here they reemerge. So that was pretty neat. She called me and told me that she was looking at it.
Yeah, it was he had it lifted, so it was up in the air, and it just kind of made us both go, is that what we think it is? And
yeah. I hadn't looked at some of these pictures. I remember, of course, I obviously have the memories of all the behind the scenes, as we're building a lot of that stuff. And I was just looking at that shot there you had of the rear end, all that, the one right there showing the side view of the rear fenders and stuff. Keep going.
Let me get back over to it here. For some reason we're
One more.
One more.
It was
here we go. Yeah, the spread.
There you are. There you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I wanted to case all that in because it's kind of an I-beam design that's welded more or less to the bottom of the tub. And I didn't really love it. I wanted to slick that all up. And we made that whole thing's removable, and the light bars bolt to it and stuff. And I remember painting that thing all assembled in the booth, because that color is a tri-coat, and if you panel paint that stuff, it not guaranteed it won't match, but pretty good chance that the pearls aren't going to match. It's just so temperamental about it. So I bolted the whole thing together, and I just remember painting it. It looked like a flat bottom John boat when I was in there spraying the thing, like something you'd take down a creek to go fishing or something. It just kind of, I'd forgotten that memory until I was just looking at that picture. I haven't seen those, that particular picture, especially for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years at least, or probably longer than that.
It may be longer than that. I think the word that we were looking for there on the paint is modeling. Isn't that what it's called when it does that? It kind of gets all weird.
Well, modeling is kind of ends up looking like kind of like cheetah print. It's kind of just got a blotchy. What'll happen with tri-coat stuff, especially as transparent as that was, to get it on a little bit heavier on one panel, and then maybe your air pressure or the humidity or just the speed you were spraying, the viscosity of your paint, if you over reduced a little bit one day, you come back the next time and you paint the light bar that butts right up to it, it might be a little lighter. So it ends up looking like two totally different colors of paint. Tri-coat stuff can be pretty temperamental.
Who do we have here?
Oh, can you see her? Let's see. That's Haley. She just got out of the shower. This is my third oldest daughter.
Yeah.
You say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
We got, she's about to lose her second tooth.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the timeline of your life, man. And there's that youngster right there, man. I always love that picture. You see that? There's your dad right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I look pretty young there.
You have a longer beard than that.
I have a longer beard, she says. Shoot.
Well, hey, at least it ain't all gray like some of us here. So.
Or missing. Yeah, I'm missing. I heard the other day I had somebody ask me, how old are you? And I said, oh, or they said, no, you must be in your mid-30s. And I said, oh, that's the best compliment I've had all day. And I said, I'm 41, and they didn't believe me. Matter of fact, that was one of your colleagues. That was yesterday at the funeral. After there was oh gosh dang his name. Say it again.
Well, yeah, Dan. Did Dan go?
Dan was there, and then who's the other photographer that I see at all the shows all the time? Eric or not?
Brian?
Not Eric. I'm sorry.
Brian?
No, it wasn't Doug. Say it again, John.
Well, Eric Hill is one of our guys.
Well, then it was Eric. I thought it was Eric, but then when I said Eric, no, it was. He told me that I was aging well, so I thought that was awful nice of him.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, nice of him to stay and be nice.
That's right, for sure.
Well, so, you went from that beautiful end dump, and there's a lot in between here. Yeah, I invite everybody to go in and do, like I said, just go up to the magnifying glass, the search icon, and type in Dustin's name, and you'll pull a bunch up. But I'm going to jump kind of, right into it, and there's Bob's Peterbilt that you built for him, and I mean, I think that kind of just, I don't know, what would you say it sort of broke through another layer and veil? And I mean,
yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been fortunate, we've done a lot of stuff. If you were able to ever go back and look through my phone, I mean, I think I've got like 15,000 pictures on my phone. Obviously not all of them are trucks, but I haven't deleted any pictures for several years. And if if you go through and look at the progression of what we did from years and years ago, and you look at what we're able to accomplish, just say even in the last 5 years or something, but we've always really focused on quality and everything, but we've been lucky to get a lot of brand new trucks, but then you kind of get known for only working on brand new trucks and stuff, and showing people that, hey, we really can go back and fix up some old stuff and really be respectful to some of the older designs and the way things were done, like on Bob's truck there, with the full stainless sleeper.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to look like, I didn't want it to look like we just put a big stainless box on the thing. You know what I mean? That's been my only thing with some of the designs, or some of the, I don't want to say designs, but the way they did back then, just put the Mercury sleeper on there, and then there it was, and that's cool. It's cool, but I've always tried really hard to pull the designs through, using some of that starburst and some of the pleating and different things like that, and we did all that stuff in the light bars there, on that truck, to really tie that sleeper in. It's such an iconic look to have that style of sleeper, but I wanted it to look like it was part of the build. You know what I'm saying? It's always kind of funny how you can take a, no, I don't want to say no, you don't have any direction. There's no one thing necessarily that kind of sets the stage. And then all of a sudden something just kind of clicks, and then that ends up being your design cue for that particular build. At the shop, we do definitely have like a guideline or something that the customers are looking for, but they really trust us to be creative in the build while it's going on, and not necessarily paint us into a corner on some of the things, like, okay, we're only going to do this, this, and this, and it allows me to really be creative, for lack of a better term, but do what I do, and take it to the next level kind of during. I'm not as creative just straight out of the box. I kind of got to get the juices flowing, to really get it rocking and rolling.
I get that. I kind of flow the same way on my show. There's sometimes there's a little bit that goes in pre-production wise, but
Sure.
I think it all flows pretty natural. I don't like today I do have a little bit of some notes to look at, because I didn't want to forget some things, but
Right.
yeah, same kind of deal. You start putting stuff together, and then maybe you get to a point where you go, you know what, that didn't quite turn out looking the way I wanted, and you change it up and do something different, or like you said, that becomes the kind of the cornerstone of where you're going to go the rest of the way with the build.
It's really funny, man. It can be the smallest little thing that ends up being, what we use to pull through. Yeah, there she is in all of her glory. So it sat in a Peterbilt dealership, I think in it's been a few years since I've told this story. I think it was Effingham, sat in the showroom for like 20 some odd years, looking just like that right there. And they ended up deciding to sell it. And Bob found it online and bid on it and won the auction. And he drove over there, and actually they're like, okay, where's your trailer? He goes, no, I'm driving it home. They couldn't believe it. Obviously hadn't ran in 20 years, but he did. He drove it home. Well, he drove it straight to my shop, and he goes, well, I want to do this, this, and this to it, and like I said, it always kind of turns into more, but he goes, it rides too bad. I ain't driving it the rest of the way. I mean, it was, he lives in Indy, so it wasn't another 40 minutes or whatever, but that thing had just one rubber block for suspension in the back. It basically had none, but
and he's lucky, and you're lucky to have that, right?
yeah, that's for sure. So, but no, that one, we called that one low key, and it was, really, really cool for sure.
And of course, as I said, going back to DNA, I mean, there's another one that hit the cover of 10-4 magazine. And as I, alluded to in the promotional on today's show, not only have you had multiple covers, but other featured stories, and then all the trucks that show up at different shows across the country
Yeah.
that guys are bringing and placing and winning, and I mean, there's a lot going on there with the Dickerson Custom Truck name out there and the builds that you've done, and
We've
seems
been,
to be seems to be ongoing. And I want to bring you to this next one, which while low key certainly is just a an outstanding build, customer build. Then there's this guy, and I've got some pictures of him saved up over here, so that way I don't have to wait for it to
okay.
load.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's Storm Surge. So
Yep.
let's talk about her. How's Storm Surge doing right now?
You're doing real good. We've had it out to some shows. We put a little more work, well, a lot more work into it. We changed out the whole interior, all new upholstery, and we're actually talking about doing it again. So I've been working with Truckin' Awesome. They've been really good to help us out, getting some new designs in there and stuff, kind of help us get some, the lines of the upholstery. We just needed a little bit cleaner look to it than what we had. So we changed that all out. We got our dash all finished up, and all that's working. But we can work through. I doubt you have any pictures of the new dash, but there I saw you had a picture up of the front suspension. That was when we first got invited to Louisville to be part of the build off. It was, first of all, just a huge honor, to be thought of as a shop and as a builder, to be qualified to be on that stage. First of all, you know what I mean? And that was just something that myself and all of us at the shop really took as a calling to put our best foot forward and really put something out there that people hadn't seen before, or as best as we could, but with that front suspension, there's just a few ideas. There's my youngest daughter in the background. It's about bedtime for her.
Yeah, we're 8:30 and where you're at, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. See you in the morning.
See, we are a family oriented. Hi,
yeah,
Molly.
there's Molly. Yeah, well, she probably wasn't figuring on getting on camera tonight. So,
surprise.
but we all wanted to build something that we'd be super proud of, and it just wasn't. Some of those ideas, not everybody is seeking out independent front suspension. Not everybody's looking for a V12 engine that come out of a bulldozer. You know what I mean? That's just not necessarily. It's not just something that everybody's necessarily looking for. But some of these ideas I've had in my mind for, I don't know, 5+ years maybe, and just when we were invited, I'm like, okay, this is the build. This is what we're doing. Gives us the opportunity that we've been looking for to use some of these ideas. The front suspension, everything has to be over the top. You know what I mean? And to even feel like you're part of the build off. It's when I think of the build off. I think of the Beast. I think of the Sledgehammer. I think of Jeff Patello's lowrider truck. The convertible. And there's just some stuff out there that's been done that is really cool, and I wanted to be, I was hoping to be in those categories with guys when they think about the build off. They think about us in that company. But
I think you guys all came to that level of the bar, and probably in different ways went beyond. I mean, let's face it. Now, I want to show this list. I got 2 more pictures, one of which you can close your eyes if you want, but there it is.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. So it's let's talk about that dash for a second, since there it is.
Yep.
So that we started out, that was supposed to be a touch screen. It turned out to not be. Was our biggest challenge in getting getting over some of the hurdles that we had and some of the difficulties that we had with getting our programming and everything done. Because we created all the computer, we made all the. Of course, nobody's seen it at this point. Well, not nobody. It's starting to get out there a little bit, but all the startup, so like when we started up, we had a graphics artist design a startup program that's much like I drive a Ford pickup. So when I start my truck up, the Ford spins around, and in the main gauge screen, the built Ford Tough thing comes falling down there, and then we're ready to go. So on this one here, we've got an actual storm flying around, a hurricane, and you'll see the logo, Hurricane Specialized logo, kind of flying around, and then it kind of sticks in the middle of the screen, and then in the background there's another little. There's a lot of debris, but a larger piece of debris you start to see flies around and actually flies right through and blows up the Hurricane Specialized logo, and then mine spins around and it sits in the middle of the screen. And if you're familiar with our logo, the wheel is spinning, and you can see see all of our letters and our name and stuff, and then it kind of disintegrates away, and then looks like lightning starts to strike, and it charges up the name Storm Surge. It's a really, really cool startup sequence, and then once that's done, the name kind of illuminates the lime green, real light, real bright green, and then the gauges appear, and it's all touchscreen, and all that is working now. But this dash here, it's kind of funny how you come up with ideas. So on this dash here, I was watching one of my TV shows that I watch, and a guy was making a wide body kit for his wife's Honda. I think it was like Shorty's Garage or something, like on Speed Channel or something, whatever it was. But anyway, he glued foam to it, and then took some furnace tape and made it where the fiberglass wouldn't stick to it, and kind of made a mold out of it. So I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing there. So I did the same thing, started out with just huge blocks of square foam. I mean, it looked like the Flintstones dash when I was starting. It was bad. And I had to grind. I had a turkey knife and was cutting and shaping. And I really wanted a dash that was super one-off. Nobody had anything like it. And, having this touchscreen in there and stuff. And, honestly, we just ran out of time. I think we could have got there. If we had another week, probably could have got it covered and done, but we just didn't get there, and then it ended up not being a touchscreen anyway, and just it's kind of a story there. But everything kind of works out. So now it has a 359 style dash in it.
Corvette, huh? Corvette dash, huh?
Corvette dash, yep. And we make all the panels of it. So we started out basically with the same dash that we started out like a Notorious, and got that put in there. And we make all the gauge panels and everything at the shop. So got our screens in there, got all of our programming done. Doug at the shop, he did all the programming, made all the computer systems. So we make all the gauges and everything in a 359, or any semi for that matter, that you would expect to see: the pressures, the temperatures, the speeds, all that stuff.
All LCD screen. Yeah.
Yeah. And we made all the computer for all that stuff to monitor all that. He writes all the code, all the stuff it takes to make that work. He does. And we've got there's no door handles on the inside or the outside. So if you remember, a 359 has the circuit breakers on the side over there.
Yep.
On the far screen. So that's the top 4 are the buttons. They look like circuit breakers, but they're actually the buttons that pop the doors open from the inside.
Okay.
So it's
right here, right where I'm, got that. That's where okay.
Yep. So now it's 2 screens, obviously. So it's, I wish I could somehow share a picture with you, because I'm so proud of it. Jeff at the shop did a great job. He had to fab up all the aluminum under dash paneling, and it is so beautiful. He did a great job, and Eric and Cole and ET, they all did an awesome job. Just really hustled it through the shop, getting all the paint work and everything done, and all the other guys helped get it installed. And that's one thing about us is we're a really tight team, and And I'm just so proud of everybody, you know, being able to come together and do what we did, you know, even in its form that it was down there in Louisville, man. We built that whole truck in 10.5 weeks. You know, I mean, yeah, unbelievable. People, when I tell them that, they just kind of look at you like 10.5 weeks, you know, like you know, they ask me how many years you've been working on this. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
no, I was hauling corn with it last fall. You know, we got the last bit of corn hauled and pulled it in the shop and turned it into storm surge.
Well, I mean, the ideas have been in your head for a lot of years, but the reality of it and getting to the point where it's at. Oh, here we go. Molly, I think maybe Molly's just sent me a pic. So let me see here.
Oh, there we go.
She did. Yes, she did. Okay, I need to
Look at her
save
coming
these.
in clutch.
Yep, I know, right? I got to save these so that I can bring them up and share with everybody. But go ahead. So, uh, all of what this truck had to the point it was pretty damn amazing. I mean, I'm just going to straight up say it was pretty damn amazing. The fact that the dash wasn't, you know, complete and where I wanted it to be by any means.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, I still think it was an amazing truck, and now it is. Now it's got its finished, you know, touches on it. So
yeah.
yeah.
When
Where do
we
you go
first,
from here?
yeah. So when we first started out, you know, I did some measurements, basically the whole ultra clean and ultra low was kind of the criteria for that one. You know, I did some measurements like, okay, I don't remember what it was off the top of my head now, but you know, say it was 10 inches of clearance between the fuel tanks and the ground. That's where I started designing. I knew I had to get it all the way down low. And, you know, that's the original frame rails. We stretched it 4 feet. I think it's like 317 wheelbase now. And,
Okay.
you know, I knew I wanted to, well, it kind of worked out for 2 ways. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you flip the frame upside down because they see those cross members and they're not really comprehending what they're looking at. We didn't. The frame is still normal. We actually fabbed those cross members up at the shop and welded that all in and everything, and was able to flip the drive line to the top. You know, everybody, including us, put deck plates and belly pans and everything to hide all the hoses and all that stuff. And I just didn't want to do that. I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted to kind of make it a showcase. So we did that, flipped the drive line above, which helped us because it was going to sit so low. Had it have been traditional, the driveline angle would have been so severe in the rear that one, it just wouldn't have looked very good. And two, it probably, I mean, if we actually did drive it, it'd probably chatter pretty bad. But
I was going to say, man, too much deflection and it may not even work.
Yep. So, but no, I think, you know, we're always striving for better and more creative. And, I don't know, you know, we got a few projects in the works that gonna be coming down the line.
All right. So hang on a second here. I'm going to have these pictures here for us in just a second. And then we can look at what the dash is now instead of what it was. So let's see here. It looks like I got us. There we go. Right on.
Yeah, there we go. See, doesn't that look so much better?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So, so when
night and day, buddy. Night and day.
So if you zoom in, I don't know if you can or not, but those four, zoom in on the main, on the B panel there. Yeah. So those 4 flippers, if you can see that, go to your right there just a little bit where the air brakes are. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So right there. So those bottom 2 switches, those are, so that's going to be the start and the stop. So that controls our starter. So just below it, you can't see it in that picture, but there's actually a thumbprint reader. So it's on the left side of the column. So there's no keys, no nothing. You have to have your, it's biometric. So your thumb has to be programmed in there, and then it'll allow the dash to fire up. And once you do your thumbprint, that's when it'll key up the fire up sequence, the storm playing, if you will. But we recreated all those switches.
Yeah, I'm looking at this here. This, if you didn't know it, you'd kind of do a double take and go, "What is that?"
That's right. Yep, that's right. It's so cool. I wish, I encourage everybody, if we get a chance to meet at a show or whatever, come over and ask me to see it, because it is really something special. We're sure proud of it, at least. But all those switches are recreations, like a 3D recreation of a jeweled toggle switch extender. So when you push that, you can see some of them look up and some of them look down.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you push that, that switch actually flips down, and it doesn't just like it's just so realistic, it's crazy. And then we've got the so on the air brakes there, you just touch those in the center and they turn green when the brakes are released, and then you touch it again and the brakes set, and then your air deflates. So that's how we control our air suspension right there. The top two are for the front and the bottom two are for the rear. And so those, when you touch those, that little metal flipper, the guys that remember the 359s, they had like the fifth wheel slide and rear suspension dump and such on. That's what those look like, and you just touch them and the little metal thing flips just like if you were actually moving it with your hands. And then we've got the circuit breakers there, and the top four represent the top left is front, and top right's the passenger door, and so on. And it's just really, really cool.
You got windows on there too?
We do. So those four switches right above the tractor brakes there is windows up and down. Yep, right there. Yep. And then those three in the middle, I think, going from memory here, I don't have my reading glasses on. Unfortunately, my eyeballs at 41 aren't going as well, but I think one of them's a fuel pump. So I think one of them's we got a fast fuel pump on it that pushes fuel to the engine. Then we've got electric fans on it, because that engine, we've got it mounted so far forward for firewall clearance that we took all the mechanical fan and the hub and all that stuff off of there. So we got our electric fans, and then other light controls, and just some different functions on there.
Where's the show? Where's the next show? Where are you guys going to be at next?
We're on the fence, but we're kind of like halfway over it, or maybe 3/4 of the way over it. Probably going down to semi-casual next.
Okay, so a good opportunity for folks to check out what's going on with Storm Surge there and the new dash setup, and
absolutely.
Yep, get a good look at it, and
we'll definitely. I don't remember the order of everything, so we're going to be at Mayberry. We'll be there for sure. We're going to go down to Troy Massey's show down at in Texas, or Nacogdoches, I think, if I'm saying that right.
Yes, you are, Nacogdoches, Texas.
Yeah, and then I think we're going for sure. There's a show in, I want to say, Alabama at a Speedway. I'm pretty sure we're going to that one. So, but we got a few big ones yet we're going to do this year. So everybody come out and check us out, and for sure look at the truck, and I enjoy talking about it.
Well, it was a standout, as were all the others, the other two that actually competed this year, and ultimately the winners, Davis Brothers and their truck, which was, I mean, can't knock it. Beautiful build, and
it was.
as were everybody else's too. So nobody brought a bad truck by any means.
Oh no. No, nobody didn't deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. And I can't wait for next year's build off, and curious to see, if there's going to be are you talking about a comebacker to the build off? Is that something you're going to do again, or how does that even come up?
You got to be invited, and as it stands right now, we haven't been invited back. I really haven't heard who has been invited. Maybe they haven't even started considering that yet. I don't know. You hear whispers, but I don't. Well, as of now, we're not on the list.
I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to say that like some sports, you get a automatic invite because you won a certain event, and now you get that that standing invitation to come back, I would say Davis Brothers at the very least should be invited back. I think this is just my opinion.
Yep.
And then anybody else that that they choose as well. I honestly, I think you should get a shot back at it myself. That's just me. But maybe there'll be more than 3 spots this time, and they'll open it up a little more.
That could be too. Yeah, I don't know. I'd tell you guys if I knew, but I haven't heard a word. And if we're so busy at the shop, which is really, really good. And our parts business, parts for rigs is it's really gaining traction, so I'm not saying no if I was invited, but man, I'd have to really sit back because time gets away and if I have no interest in 10.5 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would say that you're a better man for what you've done to this point and would know more than you did when you went to where you went this time. And you're going to be that much better prepared. I mean, it's a huge undertaking and it's not like you didn't go into it with everything you had.
Oh, we gave it all.
Yeah. It's just, sometimes it's just not enough, man. You give all you got and that's all you have to offer. So
that's right.
No shame at all in anything you guys did. I think it was, a freaking awesome truck. And now the dash is squared away and you're good to go, I think.
That's how it goes sometimes when you're going so far out of the box. Not to say that any of the other guys didn't either, because they built some really, really cool stuff. But speaking for ourselves, and when you're trying to really invent something, not everything goes quite as planned always, and there's always more challenges than what you expected. But the guys at the shop and myself, we always rise to the occasion, but sometimes you just time out, and I wanted to make sure that we had something to take, and the dash was all on me. I mean, that was my creation, and unfortunately I just didn't get it done. So, but
it looked cool. It did look cool. And in concept, if that thing could have all come together, I think you'd have had it.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
But absolutely.
Let's get a couple more things. I want to make sure everybody knows too that, while Dustin builds some really bitchin' trucks, you guys are still doing the everyday stuff out there too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure we are. Yeah. So we're, we do anything. We do mechanical work. We do, collision work. We got, we've been fortunate to have a lot of good customers along the way. And sometimes they get tangled up in some stuff they'd rather not be in, whether it be, unfortunately, ran into in the truck stop parking lots, or, typically it's the guy backed into you trying to get in the spot beside you, or turned a little too soon getting out of that spot. And, so, I mean, we deal with some stuff like that, or, we've actually worked on Tony Stewart's, personal like toter home, and he blew a left front tire, something fierce, a couple of days ago. And, so that's going to be coming to the shop here pretty shortly, so we can get him put back together. And, so we do everything. We don't just do custom this and custom that and one-off crazy stuff. I mean, we, honestly, we do more of the other, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you kind of people get more interested and it tends to be more ingrained in their mind of the wilder stuff that you're known for,
Well, that's funner than going in for a clutch or a, or some kind of service, whatever, needs to be done. I mean, let's face it. Yeah. So, but listen to you dropping Smoke's name out on everybody.
Yeah, I know. We got a few people that way. I haven't got to meet him yet. We deal with his right-hand man, and great guy. Yeah, I talked to him today, and I look forward to meeting him. I'm pretty sure, especially if we can get him straightened out here pretty quick at the Nationals, I might get a chance to meet him. I will hopefully do that. Maybe take all the guys from the shop and maybe get a picture with him or something.
Yeah. Well, he's got a great team. with what he's doing right now, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Fun team to watch. I can't wait till he gets his first, Top Fuel win. He's still, he's made it. He's made it to the finals. He just hasn't gotten that win yet. No Wally yet. So
Yeah.
best of luck to him to get it. I do hope he does.
Yeah.
We're going to run out of time here in a minute, so let's talk about our good friend, our dear friend Mike Horan. You guys put together a last ride, if you will,
Yep.
for Mike. The services were Monday, Tuesday. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mike and I've been really good friends for, I'm pretty sure 20 years, when I was first getting going, building trucks and stuff, and just for myself, before we had any equipment at all, hey, I need a visor. I was driving 359s back then, and got hooked up with Mike, and just really went, we just became friends. When you're like-minded, and you're always kind of, Mike was always like just in a great mood, had always had a funny story. It just really was a lot of fun to know and design with, and try to come up with new ideas and stuff. And we were lucky enough to start a parts for rigs together, and he got diagnosed with cancer a couple of years back, and we were just really getting off and going, and he didn't think he was going to make it through there when pretty quick out of the box, and
Yep.
he got pretty sick and got pretty weak and couldn't eat, and that medicine hit him pretty hard, and just really knocked him down. But he bounced back, and we all thought he was going to make it, and going to be good, and man, it
He
just
looked
couldn't.
good and he sounded good in Louisville, so it was
Yep.
kind of deceiving
It
as to what
was.
was going on.
Yeah, it was just, it just really sad. I mean, just such a great guy, and taught me so much. And I don't even. It's hard to talk about. I mean, it's hard to put into words. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just miss him. It's such a wealth of knowledge when you're working on a particular truck, and I know Peterbilt's inside and out, and pretty close to the same on Kenworth, but Mike knew everything inside and out. I mean, that was his life's work, was stainless parts, and a trim around this, and what kind of switch is that. And I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of things he can retain, and how interchangeable this piece may be to the next model. Say within Freightliner, or okay, at this, that part, you you could be talking about.
All right, let's show the silly Mike too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just unbelievable. I mean, the things that he could retain. You might be talking about a sleeper light in a Freightliner, and you could say, okay, hey, I'm looking at this drawing, it's kind of this shape or whatever. Because we were drawing stuff for years. I mean, we've got thousands of part numbers at the shop now, and he would be like, yeah, that'll fit, a Freightliner, Cascadia from, whatever year to whatever year. And it's just like, how do you remember? You know what I mean? Just such a wealth of knowledge. Just one of those guys that, I mean, I just was trying to be a sponge around him all the time, because he just knew and willing to teach you, and just really going to miss him for that type of stuff. Just when you didn't quite know, and you just needed a little bit of clarification, you just asked him. He knew. Just bang, right now he knew. And it wasn't like, well, I don't know. Let me think about it. Or, well, hell, I don't know. It wasn't ever that. It was, well, take this drawing, and you're probably going to need to modify the edge of it just a little bit, because whatever is, whatever model of truck, a Kenworth, let's say, uses a little bit wider grill, but the bolt pattern's all the same, but it needs to be, I mean, just unbelievable, the details, and that's the Mike I know. And that's, I mean, I think about it every day, you know. I mean, obviously he hasn't been gone long at all. And, you know, it comes up. I mean, even today at the shop, you know, had just a few little things. I was working on a visor for a T68, I'm sorry, a T880 today. And, a couple little bend angle things that he would have been able to say, do this, you know, took me an extra step or two. You know, I mean, I'm not brand new at it, but you know, he was just, I mean, to see him in action was, you know, just really something special. But
well, I want to throw it out there too. And I think, you know, he's one of the guys that was at the foundation level of all that is cool that came into this industry through manufacturers that decided they could put this together and build an accessory line,
yeah,
you know, a product line that they could market and sell to everyday truckers, as well as the guys who, you know, have some crazy in their head that they want
yeah,
done. And they call a guy like Mike and say, can you do that? And Mike would go, yeah, let's do it.
yeah,
And that goes back to his days, you know, at Roadworks. And that's when I met him, was, you know, over 20 years ago at a show, and he was repping Roadworks back then. I mean, let's
oh
face
yeah,
it, he was the creative behind that company.
oh yeah,
So
he was, and I mean, so creative. I mean, he was for sure the face of the company. I mean, I would almost bet you most people probably thought he owned the company for, you
yeah,
know, because
yeah,
he was always in the show truck. You know, um, he was
yeah.
at every show. You know, I mean, he was out there hustling it. You know what I mean? And um, he just a really great guy. And Susan, the lady that actually owned Roadworks, you know,
Right.
great lady. I mean, I've known her for years as well, but talked to her quite a bit yesterday at the services and stuff, and just a really neat lady. And um, they were super tight. You know what I mean? That's one thing that um, if you were one of Mike's friends, you were pretty darn tight. You know what I mean? It just had that personality that, um, you know, you just kind of reeled you in. You know, and if you didn't see him, you picked right up where you left off. He was kind of one of those friends. You know,
Oh
um,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
master.
in this world, you kind of are that way with a lot of folks, because I mean, and I'm saying, in our world, being spread across the country,
Yeah,
you don't see everybody every day, you know.
you don't.
So
Yep, you
uh,
don't.
you're
It,
left to have that. That's how it kind of is, you know.
Absolutely. But yeah, you said that he you know, changed the industry, and that's why I thought it was appropriate. You know, that truck was his favorite color, and we ordered that truck in, and we ordered it that color, and Toyota concrete gray. And you know, never ever did I anticipate doing anything like that with it, but it was so fitting to take him out on a truck. I mean, he loved that truck being his color, and he helped me, you know, build a few things for it. You know, some stuff that we did a little bit different. Nothing too crazy, because we didn't,
Yeah.
you know, wasn't trying to be a full on build. That one was just to really kind of showcase our parts and what we did. And you know, there's just a few things that I've done in life at this point that I never anticipated doing, and you know, yesterday was one of them for certain.
Yeah, yeah, and it's bittersweet. I get it. You know, it's something you end up having to do it because of circumstances, and I'm glad
It
you guys were all there to make it happen for him
it
and
was
for
it,
his family.
it was just the right thing to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just the right thing to do, and I wanted something special for his family. And you know, I can't tell you how many times they came over and thanked us for doing it. And you know, I always just told them, I said, "Hey, this is the least we can do." You know, we all are gonna miss him. As you know,
Yeah.
we weren't family, but we almost were. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You just
I think you guys were, and I consider Mike family too. I have a lot of family in
Yep,
this world that we weren't born of the same blood, but we came
That's
together
right.
in this world, and now we're family, and I love being able to do that with folks. Mike was one of those guys that, was in that category too. We didn't talk near enough, but when we
Yeah.
did get the chance, we get caught up and see each other when we did. And I always enjoyed, interacting with him at the truck shows, which was definitely our opportunity to get caught up
Yep.
professionally and otherwise. So,
The king of analogies. You ever notice
oh yeah,
that?
yeah.
The king. I mean, the master. He had a he had a master's degree in analogies. I mean, that guy was something else with some analogy.
Well, he had a lot of good thoughts and opinions and thoughts about things, and it's kind of along the lines of George Carlin. Remember George Carlin? Maybe before your time, but George Carlin had analogies in life of everything. This guy could spell it out in ways that just make you go, "Wow, where did you come up with that?" But man, you're right on.
Yeah, and I mean, just like bang bang, just not even missing a beat. I'd have to. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get there.
Well, I want to throw this out there, and I hope that the folks over at Mid America are listening, and that in 2025, when it comes time to put the new guys, the new names together for those that are going to get inducted into the Wall of Fame over there, that Mike Horan is one of those guys that gets put on there. He gets not nearly enough credit for what he gave the industry and
Yep.
his ongoing legacy to it. I think needs to be recognized. The creative minds and bodies behind our industry, if for no other reason, uh, we're here to help make sure that the ones we know get mentioned, and Mike
Yeah,
is definitely one of them. So,
yeah. I
um,
I think it would be quite fitting for him to be on there.
absolutely. All right, listen, Dustin, I'm going to let you go. We're a little over today, but I appreciate you taking the time. I really
Yeah,
do, to finally
a-
get caught up.
absolutely.
Everybody wants to find Dustin, his company, Dickerson Custom Trucks, on Facebook, website, however you want to, go out there and find him. Instagram, he's out there on all the different media sources. And
Yeah, we
thank
just
you for.
started a YouTube channel. You're gonna have to check me
Oh
out.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
get out there. Okay,
yeah, I'm I'm trying. I mean, I don't
yeah.
know. I'm not the greatest interviewer, or interviewee, I guess, but I'm trying to get it down. You're gonna have to. Kendall's a lot better than I am.
Kendall's great. Love working with Kendall and having her be a part of Studio 10-4 Live and working with her at shows when we do. So look forward to the next time we get the opportunity to do that. Get out there and get Storm Surge out and shown, and let everybody get a good look at it. You're gonna be keeping that one around for a while, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, we'll probably tour it around next year too. I mean, it was it takes a small army to get that thing on and off the trailers. We've gotten a lot better at it, but it takes like 46 feet of ramps or something to get it off that step deck, and it's got
Yeah,
17 fives on it. So I mean, it's a bit
yeah.
of a production, but again, we all worked so hard on it at the shop, and it came out so well. We're so proud of it that it's only fitting that we put the extra little effort in it to get it out to the shows and get it taken
Right.
around.
100% agree with you on that one. Dustin, great to catch up. If you want to hang on, as I close the show, we can chat for a minute afterwards
Yeah.
and kind of do a little catch up there. I want to
Yep.
thank everybody that tuned in today. Appreciate it. You guys are great. And the little experiment that I did, it did what I thought and hoped it was going to do. What was happening is I wasn't seeing people that were tuning in, and the way this thing works for the most part is there's a lot of people that view this show, but if you're not giving a comment, not saying something, then I don't know you're there. I just know there's a number represented that says there's somebody there, but I don't know who it is. So today, I hope everybody came through, and I saw everybody that was viewing and watching along with us. Thanks for being here, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. A couple of shows that are coming up, obviously on the West Coast. There's 3 for me that I'll be at. Dan's going to be going up with his son to the Brooks show up in Oregon that's coming up. After that, it's going to be the Souza Memorial show coming on. Randy, what's going on? Good to have you in, man. After that, Bobtail Apparel is going to be happening in Dickerson, California. And finally, in November is going to be our first annual, we hope, to be, and that is the 10-4 rodeo, 10-4 trucker rodeo and show, going to be down in Bakersfield, California at the Kevin Harvick Kern County Raceway. A lot of stuff going on with that show. So many things that are going to be going on event-wise that we'll do another rundown on that as we go through before we close out the month. I want to say thanks again to the folks at PANELITE. Appreciate you guys supporting us. And again, welcome back. A little bit of a hiatus there. And I can tell you that PANELITE was sold. High Bar Brands is the owner. They're part of the High Bar family, which has many products you're familiar with, from Minimizer to PANELITE, obviously, and Premier Hitches. That is who we're talking about. So good company, good family, and we look forward to them being around with us and partnered with us here at Studio 10-4 Live for a long time to come. So till next week, guys, keep the shiny side up, stay safe out there, and we'll see you then next week. Take care.